The reason I'm keen to show you this today is to break any misconception we may have that Horsch only make 12 metre and huge equipment for extremely large arable farms. We do also have a full range of smaller equipment, more suited to smaller farms with lesser horsepower. Hello, I'm Gareth Burgess from Horsch, and we're here today looking at this customer's machine, which is a Horsch Joker 3CT and Mono TG bar. Starting at the front then, the Mono TG bar is a 3-point linkage attached machine with 5 TerraGrip tines with over 500 kilos of breakback force on this 2-spring design. Hydraulic depth control using these spacer clips, and on this machine we're fitted with 40mm LD plus points, so we've got full carbide facing on the front of that point, extremely high wear rate. There is also another complete range of points we can fit to this leg, as this TerraGrip assembly is the same as what we fit on all Turano machines, from 3 metres up to 12 metres working width. Moving further back then, we come to the Joker 3CT. The Joker range, many people will have heard of the Horsch Joker. We make the Joker from 3 to 12 metres, mounted to trailed. And although this is a 3-metre machine, it shares a lot of design features which are unique to the entire Joker range. Starting then with how we mount the discs. If we look at these disc mountings, we can see we've got 2 discs mounted on the one hanger. That's quite unique to Horsch. And by that, what happens is we've got this extremely wide rubber mounting, 40 centimetres wide, and we don't get any sidewards lateral movement on these discs because we've got that offset. Because we've got the 2 discs on the one hanger, we give ourselves more room in between each disc to have trash flow and residue. In an instance like this, it's quite easy working ground. We're on some ex-sugar beet ground, but if we start getting into more trashy straw residue conditions in summer after a combine, that trash residue management and that flow through the machine is really excellent. We've then looked at the bearings. So we're a 2 taper roller bearing design. We've had this design on the Jokers for many years now, and it really is well proven. There's no maintenance on those, there's no grease points, and they do last phenomenally well. We have very little problems with that bearing design, and it's something we use on other machines as well. 2 rows of discs, followed by a steel disc packer. There are many packer options for the Joker range. In this instance, we do see steel disc being quite a popular choice for this mounted machine, but everything's preferable to soil type in that instance, so we've got a packer for every operation. When we look at the settings of this machine then, it really is simple. Depending on what other machines people have used, commonly setting the depth on these tines can be quite difficult, lifting heavy tines and having to put a pin in. We've taken away that hardship. So when we want to change the depth on this machine, it's a very simple procedure. We've got the machine plugged into the spool valve on the tractor, and when we want to go shallower or deeper, we simply extend these rams from the cab, jump out, change our clips, putting more in if we want to go shallower, removing them if we want to go deeper, close the rams back up to the clips we've chosen, and off we go. There's no heavy lifting or pins to try and get in a tight hole. Looking at the depth control for the discs then, it's even more simple. Again, a spool valve plugged into the tractor. We've got hydraulic depth control with that single ram at the back, displayed on a gauge on the right hand side of the machine, and we simply use the spool valve to change depth as we go up and down the field. Very simple, an operator can do it on the move. One thing you may have noticed is the accumulator on the machine here. On all the Joker range you might see an accumulator like this. We term it soft ride suspension on the trailed machines, and effectively what we're looking to do with this accumulator is remove any bounce we may get coming back from the packer. So when we're running this machine at a high speed, we want to be able to keep the machine nice and stable and planted in the ground. This accumulator takes out any bounce or any shock that may come back through that ram and the packer engaging in tough soil or lumps and bumps in the field. And it really does do an effective job. With the Joker range, we typically see speeds comfortably at 12, 14, 15 kilometres an hour. In actual fact, the brochure would say an operating speed of up to 20 kilometres an hour, so we really can handle high speed cultivation. So we're here looking at the TerraGrip Tine unit. We've already mentioned we've got over 500 kilos of breakback force. There's no maintenance on this unit, so there's no grease nipples. It's a very, very reliable, simple system. So this TerraGrip is fitted to a mono TG bar, but we also fit this same assembly to all the Toronto trail cultivators. And what's important to note is this leg is very, very universal. So on this machine, we've got the machine fitted with 40mm wide LD plus points, and we've got carbide right the way up the front of that point, so it has a really good lifespan. You can see though, if we move away this soil, there's a couple of holes in there where we could bolt other things on. So if we look at the other options we have for this tine, starting at the very narrowest, we've got 25mm wide ultra low disturbance point. We've then got 40mm low disturbance point, as we've got on this machine. We've then got 80mm mulch mix full carbide point. That's quite a popular option on some of the other Toronto ranges, so the Toronto FX for example. And if somebody wants absolute full movement, we've got up to 120mm wide in combination with wings. So if somebody wanted to, there's no reason we couldn't put a wider point on and fit the wings on straight to that same leg, making the machine very versatile. But one feature that makes this machine really quite universal, if somebody wants just to get that shallow chit in summer, we can disconnect the mono TG bar with this 3-point linkage. We've got quick release couplings to make that easy to do, and then we've just got ourselves a mounted short disc cultivator. So we've effectively got two machines in one here. When we look at the disc then, this is a 52cm scallop disc. A couple of points just to mention on this. When we fit these discs, we want the maximum lifespan out of them. So Horsch have a hardening process whereby the outside of the disc diameter, so in this zone in here, is hardened to really prolong lifespan and make sure we keep this cutting edge as sharp as possible. But if you harden the whole disc, that disc could become brittle and break. So what we do, we harden the outside, and as we get into this central zone, it's not hardened. That means we don't get any problem with breakages around where we bolt it on. It's a nice unique feature. Looking at other disc options, there are 3 in total. This is a 52cm scallop disc. If somebody's got more trash to bury and more trash to deal with, we could put a 58cm disc on the Joker range. We also offer a cover crush disc. The idea behind the cover crush disc, it's a wavy profile, and we're looking for the ultimate in shallow disking with that machine. So working the whole profile, but typically just a 2-3 centimeters working depth. The cover crush disc allows that, and therefore enables to get a full chit of any weeds we want to establish post harvest in a very quick and easy pass. So when we look at the customer for this machine, we typically tend to see this machine perhaps on smaller to mid-size arable farms, but the nice thing with this machine is we don't have a huge horsepower requirement, and we often prove that when we're demonstrating this machine. Typically we see it working really well on 180 horsepower. Low horsepower requirements means it does fit a multitude of different instances, mixed farms, etc. So if you're interested to learn more about the Joker 3CT or any of the other Horsch products, come and join us at Cereals on the 11th and 12th of June.